Hi everyone, welcome back to the Pathsmithers Bible. My name is Zion. I'm the author of the Pathsmithers Bible, which, which contains the prophetic book of Zion, where I get my name and authority. It comes from the Ketuvim, or Old Testament of the Tanakh, or Jewish Bible. I use the King James Version of the Christian Bible to put together the prophecy of Israel from the scattered bits and pieces of testimony from the various prophets of the Old Testament. What I came up with was what I call the Book of Zion. It is a book of prophecy written entirely in Bible passages. In order to publish this prophetic book, I had to write an entirely different book, the Potsmacher's Bible, which is a commentary. And on 4/20 of the year 2020, I began to publish Peace, which is the last thing on my to-do list, to become Zion of the Most High God of Israel. I am Zion because I have published Peace, and I've done everything that came before that too. That was the last thing in my list of what to do to become Zion. And now I am Zion. Nobody can stop what I've done. It was too late back in 2015. The world had already I had already sealed the world's fate at that point because I set in motion the prophetic events that are unfolding as we speak. And I know that seems like it's like, boy, who does she think she is? Well, I think I'm the Zion of the Most High God of Israel. That's who I think I am. And that's who I know I am. Now, the world doesn't know who Zion is and what Zion is. I didn't know who Zion was or what Zion was when I started this. In fact, I didn't even, I had read the book, I had read of Zion because I'd read the Bible. And of course, I knew the name of Zion from like Zion Lutheran churches and different Zionite things that were around the world. But I never knew what Zion was until I discovered the prophetic verses and started putting them together. And then I realized I am Zion because I fulfill prophecy in point, chapter 54 of the book of Isaiah, which is what I call my resume. It gives my life story. And it led me to become Zion. It was because of chapter 54 of Isaiah that I became Zion. And now it's done. I know that you're going, oh, yeah, right, it's done. How can you say that? Well, this is how I can say that. Every moment of creation is created by prior events. So the future is determined by the present, and the present is determined by the past. Now, in the bigger picture of time and history, the Gray instituted the Book of Zion 3,000 years ago. They placed into what we call the Bible, or the Torah, or Ketuvim, all of the parameters that would be in play in our final days as a civilization. And they instituted this. They set it in motion 3,000 years ago. Now, it kind of went its way until I took it up because I was the one person on earth that was capable because I had been prophesied. I know that's a big thing to say, but it's true. Isaiah 54 is my life story. Nothing can change that. Now, I'm sure that there are other girls on this planet who are unfortunate like me, who can say that they sing, that they cannot have children, that they have had an abusive, how is this, a shameful childhood, that I was refused in my youth by the love of my life. That's in chapter 54. And that love of my life is supposed to be my husband. That was the whole point. I was begging God for love. And God chose that love. And in allowing God to choose the right mate for me, I initiated prophecy because that was the stipulation, that I had to be willing to allow God to choose my husband for me, the chosen one, the Messiah. Some of the prophetic events foretold I stumbled into. Some I openly went into on purpose. And now it's done. I've already done everything that I'm required to do to fulfill prophecy. My part of the prophetic text is done. I've published peace. Now, reality takes up where I left off. I set in motion the events that create the nation of Zion. But I'm not the only one. Because you see, prophecy is the convergence of prophetic events. If I alone had stood up as Zion, I would have failed. Messiah had to go along with me, or I would have failed. Then I had to institute prophecy. I had to make happen those things foretold, just like Jesus did when he entered Jerusalem after having the Last Supper. He purposely knew that he was going to die if he went to Jerusalem. And yet, in order to fulfill prophecy and make way for Zion, he gave up his life. He took that mule ride into Jerusalem to face his fate. And that is what I have done. I have set in motion the events of prophecy, and like dominoes, they have fallen. Now, when on May 25th, 2015, I solidified the prophecy, I did the one thing that initiated the events of prophecy. I put myself in a court of law to defend my people's right to get high without using money. That money thing is a big one. But I did this in compliance with prophecy. I had to take apart the Bible and put it back together in order to figure out what was real. And then I had to figure out how to literally fulfill prophecy. And on May 25th, 2015, that's exactly what I did. When I stood up in a court of law under oath and read the prophetic verses from Isaiah to establish myself as Zion in a court of law, defending my people's right to get high, to smoke a dried up plant that we grow in gardens, that we smoke, just as the prophecy foretold. Now, once I took that fateful step and enacted prophecy, well then, reality had no choice but to comply because it was written, it was foretold, it was set down into the matrix of the planet that when this happened, it would set in motion a chain reaction. So I was the first domino. I dropped that first domino, and then all those who were in line with the next domino fell. And believe it or not, the very first chapter of the prophecy says that a base man would be put into control by the hands of the great. that they would put him into power in order for him to destroy the hypocritical nation of America, Donald J. Trump. And that's exactly what he's done. He has done everything he could in the last 4 years to undermine democracy. And even now, his people are in the streets demanding that he remain in office even though he lost the election. And it is this pivotal thing that he put into motion that has split that one domino into 50. And it has spread out. And so now all the dominoes are falling, one after another, after another, after another. And nothing can stop the momentum of prophecy. Nothing can stop those events that have already unfolded from initiating what is coming next. Because we create our own reality by taking the steps necessary to enact our will upon the physical plane. Once we enact our will upon the physical plane, the physical plane has no choice but to comply, which is why Donald J. Trump is in the White House. I put him there because I stood up for my people as prophecy dictated. I dropped that first domino that I would be established in a court of law in judgment, defending my people's right to live. I dropped that first domino. Well, the first worldly domino to drop was Trump. That he would be put into power to destroy America. And that is exactly what he has done. And if you don't believe that, I can't help you. I can only help you if you're willing to go along. Are you willing to be one of those dominoes that drops? Or are you going to be the ground it drops on? That's the difference. I am a domino. I dropped it. And all the dominoes fall. Because that's how they were set up to begin with. So that all it would take would be one person to do one thing according to prophecy, and it would all unfold as foretold. And that is what we're seeing. And my book outlines everything. If you want to know what comes next, there's only one source on this planet that you can go to, and that is the Book of Zion. Because only the Book of Zion knows. Because the Book of Zion was created by God. And by God, I mean Gray. Because I don't believe in I do believe in an all-powerful deity, but that is on another plane of existence. The God of the physical plane of the planet Earth is the Gray. Now, if you want to find that all-embracing one God, you have to rise through several different layers of ascension before you can get to that Godhead. And that is where we're going. But we have to live through these dominoes falling effect first. And these dominoes, when they fall, where do they land? They land at the gates of Zion. They land at the tents that we're about to erect out west in the state of Nebraska, where I'm from. Because that's what the Gray have always intended. So may the Gray watch over you, guide you, protect you, and keep you from all harm. May they teach you right from wrong, and may you be worthy of them. May your thoughts, words, and deeds reflect truth, good, and light the unicorn way. Find your joy and pursue it. Choose your guild wisely. If you use drugs to stay happy and high, you have every right and reason to. Believe me, I know, I wrote the books. My name is Zion. I am the Zion of the Most High God of Israel. And I'm going to say later now because I love you all way too much to ever say goodbye.